Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and we're going to keep things going with Kenan and Kel Week with the movie starring both individuals, and that is, of course, Good Burger, starring Kel Mitchell, Kenan Thompson, Jan Schweiderman, Shar Jackson, Sinbad, Dan Schneider, Josh Server, Abe Vigoda, Linda Cardellini, and Shaquille O'Neal. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. Like I said during the introduction, we're going to keep things going with Kenan and Kel Week here today on the channel, and we're going to talk about the 90s classic, Good Burger. And as our movie opens, it's the first day of summer, and slacker high school student Dexter Reed takes his mother's car on a joyride while she is away on a business trip. But he gets involved in a car accident with his teacher, Mr. Wheat. With no driver's license or car insurance, Dexter is in danger of going to jail. But Mr. Wheat agrees to let him pay for the damage in exchange for not calling the police on him. With the damage estimated to be at $1,900, which later becomes $2,500, Dexter decides to take a summer job in order to pay for the expenses. After being fired from the soon-to-open Mondo Burger restaurant for clashing with the owner and manager, Kurt Boswell, Dexter ends up working for Good Burger instead. There, he meets and reluctantly befriends the dim-witted, slightly nutty, and absent-minded cashier, Ed, alongside its other employees. Now, initially, neither of them are aware of the fact that Ed is the one who inadvertently caused Dexter's car accident, as Ed had rollerbladed in front of Dexter on his way to make a delivery for Good Burger, causing Dexter to swerve and crash into Mr. Wheat's car. While both men are working together, Dexter ends up realizing that it was Ed that caused his accident, but eventually Dexter forgives Ed. Now, the survival of the smaller Good Burger is being threatened by the impending grand opening of Mondo Burger, with its newly built burger chain directly across the street from Good Burger's location and their oversized burgers. However, Ed creates a new secret sauce which saves Good Burger by vastly increasing its sales. Dexter then takes advantage of Ed's gullibility and extorts money from him so that he can pay off his debt sooner rather than later. Ed promptly signs a contract that gives Dexter 80% of the bonus that Ed is supposed to receive for his sauce, and Dexter warns Ed not to give the sauce recipe to anyone else. After trying and failing to entice Ed with a higher hourly wage at Mondo Burger, Kurt, who wants the sauce for himself, sends an employee named Roxanne to seduce him into revealing the recipe. However, Ed clumsily injures her repeatedly, causing her to quit her job. When a dog refuses to eat a discarded Mondo Burger in favor of a discarded Good Burger, a suspicious Ed and Dexter decide to investigate the situation. They infiltrate Mondo Burger's kitchen in disguises and discover that their burgers are artificially enhanced with triamphethol, which is an illegal food chemical. Kurt discovers them and has them committed to the Demented Hills Asylum, where his friend Wade works as a hospital employee in an attempt to prevent them from sharing their discovery. Afterward, Kurt and his henchmen break into Good Burger, find the batch of Ed's secret sauce, and taint it with shark poison. Otis, who is an elderly employee who was sleeping on the premises, catches them red-handed and attempts to call the police, but Kurt sends him to Demented Hills as well. After Otis informs Ed and Dexter about Kurt's scheme, they are able to escape from Demented Hills and hijack an ice cream truck in order to head back to Good Burger, arriving just in time to prevent an elderly lady from eating the poisoned sauce. Ed and Dexter then return to Mondo Burger, looking to expose their crimes to the police. While Dexter creates a distraction, Ed tries to take a can of Triamphethol, but clumsily knocks another one into the meat grinder. Inspired by what has transpired, he pours multiple bottles of the Triamphethol into the grinder. As Kurt corners Dexter on the rooftop, Ed arrives with an empty can of the Triamphethol. Kurt mocks Ed's actions, whereupon he snidely comments to Dexter that the can wasn't empty when he found it. Mondo Burger then starts to collapse as the burgers start exploding due to the excess Triamphethol. A large artificial burger falls from the roof and smashes Mr. Wheat's newly repaired car. In the aftermath, Mondo Burger is shut down and Kurt is arrested. Ed then explains to Dexter that he purposely did what he did in order to prevent Kurt from manipulating the legal system and escaping conviction, ironically responding to Dexter's questions by saying, "I'm not stupid." As our movie ends, Dexter apologizes to Ed for taking advantage of his bonus from the sauce, and the two reconcile, with Dexter even going as far as to tear up the contract with Ed and telling him that he gets to keep all of the profits from his sauce now. Ed and Dexter return to Good Burger, where their co-workers hail them as heroes. They ask Ed to make a speech, and all he can say is, "Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?" This is another one. It's a classic from my childhood. I grew up, I was actually probably in my 20s by the time Kenan and Kel really started to make a name for themselves and break out on all that. So I can't really say I grew up with them, but they were definitely in my line of sight, as I wasn't finding Saturday Night Live very funny back during those days. And all that was SNL for kids. So watching all that, watching Kenan and Kel, watching Lori Beth Denberg, watching Josh Server, watching Amanda Bynes, that was my SNL during that phase, because SNL had already gone through the Mike Myers, Dana Carvey, Phil Hartman, John Lovitz, even into the Adam Sandler and Chris Farley and David Spade and Chris Rock. And it was just starting to transition into the Will Ferrell, Chris Kattan, that era of SNL, which had its moments, don't get me wrong, but I didn't care for that as much as I cared for this. And then in the middle of all that, there was all that, with all those actors and actresses that I just named, and even more. So getting to see these kids that were just a little bit younger than me, doing this goofy stuff that I used to enjoy on SNL just made me crack up. Specifically the Good Burger sketches, as well as the Ask Ashley sketches. That is some of the most priceless television you'll ever see. You watch all that, which inspired the Good Burger movie because of the sketch, and you just feel like Kel Mitchell is going to be the breakout star. He's going to be the Eddie Murphy. He's going to be the Jim Carrey. He's going to be the Chris Farley or the Will Ferrell or the Mike Myers. And just be that guy from the cast that really propels himself to the next level. And it ends up being Kenan, who actually got a gig on SNL and is currently the longest tenured cast member in Saturday Night Live history. Who would have ever thought? None of us that grew up watching all that in that time period would have ever thought that Kenan would be that guy. We thought it would be Kel. This movie is Kel Mitchell at his best. And I had the privilege of discovering some of the locations where this movie was filmed. Just on a whim while watching this movie, not this time as I've seen it hundreds of times, but one of the last times I watched it, I saw a sign in the background there by Mondo Burger that said West Covina Dentistry. And I looked it up, found the location, and I went to those locations and did a little bit of filming. Check that out. So I was watching one of my favorite movies recently, and in the background I saw this sign, West Covina Dentistry. Obviously the movie took place in a fictitious town, fictitious city, so I decided to look into everything and see where it was filmed, and lo and behold, it was filmed here in West Covina, California. They just completely forgot to take and change that sign. So what movie are we talking about today? Well, the movie has nothing to do with dentistry. It has to do with burgers. And right over here where this faux restaurant is was the home of the burger joint that was gonna put a local, well-established business out of business. Where this faux envy restaurant is, Vietnamese Kitchen, was the home of Mondo Burger. Mondo Burger, of course, designed to put Ed and the crew over at Good Burger out of business. That's right, here in West Covina, California, on the corners of West Covina Parkway and Glendora, are the buildings that were used for Good Burger and Mondo Burger respectively. And I know y'all can hear it now. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order? Ha! So there we go, folks. Just a little bit more film history here in sunny Southern California, tucked away in the middle of nowhere. So right there in the heart of West Covina, California, not far from where I was living, a little bit far from where I'm living currently. But at the time that I filmed that, not too far from where I was living, Good Burger and Mondo Burger. Now, obviously, The locations are back to their normal establishments. They're not what they were at the time of filming. The dental building is still there, though. But Good Burger and Mondo Burger. I hope you enjoyed that little bit of footage thrown into this. I thought it was a blast being able to discover that right here in Southern California, not far from where I lived. When it comes to my rating of Good Burger, I got to do it. I got to give it 5 stars. I love this movie. I could put this movie on any day of the week, any time of the year, and I'm just doubled over cracking up at Dexter and Ed. And even Mr. Wheat and everything that he goes through, Sinbad's character. It just, I have no words. I am sitting here cracking up the entire time. Carmen Electra has a cameo in it. Shaquille O'Neal, George Clinton, just some other names that I may not have touched on at the beginning when I read off the synopsis and everything in the cast list. 5 out of 5 stars, though, for Good Burger. What do you think? If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. Let's engage in that conversation. Let's have that discussion in the comment box. You know I get back to you guys. Let's talk Good Burger. Don't forget to tune in on Friday, right here to the Casa D18 Studios channel for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, when we take a look at the Kel Mitchell vehicle for the week here on Kenan and Kel Week, Mystery Men, starring Ben Stiller, William H. Macy, Hank Azaria, Kel Mitchell, Janine Garofalo, Paul Rubens, Jeffrey Rush, Claire Forlani, Eddie Izzard, Praz, and the Goody Mob. You're not going to want to miss out on that. Right back here on the Casa D18 Studios channel. Right back here on another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. I'm going to be discussing Mystery Men as we wrap up our week of Kenan and Kel. To all my loyal fans and viewers out there, thank you so much for tuning in today and joining me. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure that notification bell is turned on so that you're alerted anytime a video drops right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel. Share this video with your family, friends, loved ones, movie fans, cinephiles, Kenan Thompson fans, Kel Mitchell fans, people that loved All That and Nickelodeon back in the 90s. Anybody you can think of who would enjoy this video and just get some joy and pleasure from it. Share it with them. Help boost me up in the YouTube algorithms so I can eventually get monetized, make some money on this endeavor. Thank you once again to everyone who tuned in and joined me today. I appreciate it more than you guys know, and I will see you guys next time.